Hey guys, we're excited to announce that we at Crossman Productions have teamed up with Aspen Hospice Home Health Care, a name that you could trust. Not only has Aspen been voted the best hospice and home health care in Denton County for 2022, but I've personally had a chance to work side by side with this company through their volunteer program. So I've got to know the company and the members and their heart and their passion for the community. Our show is all about helping people find their passion and purpose to fulfill their journey. My friends at Aspen are there to help individuals and their families face the time where people have come to the end of their journey, and to help people walk through that process. One day all of us will be facing the last chapter of our journey. When that time comes, you want to be able to turn to a company that you know and a name that you could trust to help you and your family walk through that process. So I highly recommend, if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you consider my friends at Aspen Hospice and Home Healthcare. For more information, just click on the link below. Thank you, guys.
Hey, well, first of all, thank you so much for being on the show. And pretty excited about bringing you on. When I first saw you on Facebook, through your coffee talks, and then your personality is just so energetic, and the things that you talk about on there, and the fact that you're so health conscious as well. I wanted to bring you on our show, and kind of have you come in and share your journey with us. And
thank you.
Yeah, it just sounds like you sound like such a positive and inspiring person, and that's kind of stories that we look for here, on my show. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited. When you told me, I saw that you did inspirational stories. Mine's a good one to hear.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, so I'm excited about it. So basically, the way we do is. We'll start kind of where you were born and raised, kind of where you grew up, and what life was like growing up.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. So, there we go. Okay. So, can you tell us where you were born and raised? And
I'm sorry. I know. Are we going?
Okay, yeah.
I didn't know if we were live yet. I'm used to I do movie reviews and more, and that's another podcast that I do on Tuesday night.
Right.
So I'm used to it going like this whole thing in the morning, like 10, 9, 8,
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't know if you have an intro or what.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. So I'm Rachel Roberts Recipes, and I'm here in Houston, Texas. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. I'm actually in the same house I grew up in.
Oh, wow.
I had these amazing, isn't that wild? Yeah. But it's I love the house. I flooded 3 times because in Houston, that's what happens. And I'm a single mom. I've got 2 boys, and so I have handled the floods by myself 3 times, and I'm actually getting pretty good at it. People come into my house and they're like, "Wow, I love your house," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm 1 flood away from being just perfect."
Wow.
Yeah. So growing up, Houston is I had this. My mother is Italian from Pietra di Santa and Forte della Marmia area, and so was this amazing cook. And every night she would set the table. It was like every night was Thanksgiving. It was everything she made. I can't think of it. Well, maybe liver and onions. I don't know. But that would be the one thing she made that it smells good. But then when you taste it, it's a little different, right? It's a little off.
Right.
So but she made some beautiful Parmigiana and the chicken carbonara. Just different things. And so I grew up learning how to eat well, and I knew the difference between good food and bad, and I was spoiled with really, really good food. My dad was a collector of Corvettes, and he had this huge personality. My mom organized performing group tours all over the world, so she had huge personality.
Right.
So, it's no, big surprise that, here I am today with this huge personality.
Right. And I'll
Right.
just say that that kind of explains where you get it, because you're such an outgoing person, and
Mhm.
that's one of the things that
I am.
drew me to your show, Table Talk. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you know what? I tell you, every day and I'm always happy. I can't ever think of a day that I started off feeling bad. So I always feel good, and I want to share that. I wanted to tell you, really, for me, Rachel Roberts' recipe started kind
Right.
of around when COVID started. There was all this. I was one of those people that stayed in my house for 6 months. I didn't want to leave.
Wow.
I mean, my truck battery died because I never left. The
Wow.
kids were homeschooled. We had groceries delivered, but I missed the connection with people. So I started
Right.
turning on my camera.
Right.
Right? You want to stay connected. And I would go on live. I would talk to people. I was always in the kitchen because that's what I do. I cook. And
Right.
so I'm in there, I'm cooking, I'm sharing things with people, and I love it. And, at some point, I started getting all these people friend requests coming through on Facebook. And
Right.
I started getting people that were in the film industry. And now,
Right.
like 90% of everyone on my Facebook is people that are in the film industry somehow or another. And so it wasn't a big surprise when I started to get offers to do other things, outside of my cooking videos and things like that. Brought fashion with movie reviews and more picked up, and I've been working with him since last December doing that podcast, which is one of the top podcasts out there. So he's had that one for almost 10 years, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. So you brought up a pretty good point that during that whole time of
Mhm.
COVID, um, I think that one of the biggest things with everybody coming out of it is the fact that that we've been separated from each other for so long, and just
Mhm.
having that disconnect. And even like for like I worked through that time too, and a lot of the
Mhm.
companies that we were at, they still separated you. You still had to be the whole 6 foot rule. I actually worked security at that time, so I was working probably
Mhm.
80 to 100 hours a week, doing security.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a crazy time for us. But you know, coming out of it, I think people miss that connection, and you can see it now more that COVID is over. People coming back together,
Mhm.
and which I love seeing.
Mhm.
And then two,
Mhm.
it gave people. To me, it kind of feels like it gave people kind of a reset. Because they got away
Mhm.
um, you know, from the daily grind of coming in 9 to 5, and a lot of them stayed at home.
Mhm.
And I think that that's kind of where our technology with TikTok and YouTube and all that blew up, because people are looking for an
Mhm.
outlet. And
Exactly.
so now you see all these these shows coming out, and
Mhm.
people are expressing you know uh and sharing different talents. So I think that
Mhm.
all the bad that happened through the COVID, I think that
Mhm.
there's a lot of good that happened too.
Oh, I guess I look at the positive in everything in life. And
Right.
so when that all happened, there were some people that were like, there is no God. And I was like, are you
Right.
kidding? Look at what he's doing. This is the smartest thing ever. We're cleaning our planet. Do you remember when all this started and they showed pictures of like our all the atmosphere and stuff? It looked clear, like you could actually see the cities
Right.
again. And they were like, wow, look what happens when we don't use our cars and we're not like using all this stuff as much. It was totally cleaning up the planet. And yeah, we lost a lot of people,
Right.
but it's like we've out we've outgrown this planet. Like we needed to take it down a notch. I don't
Right.
know. That sounds creepy in a weird way, but I looked at the positive of it, and
Right.
just like you said, I was enjoying all that time in the house with the kids. We were baking bread out of cardboard. Like people were doing all this stuff, and like I remember using like saying, "Don't throw away your coffee that's in the coffee pot. You pour it, make ice cubes, and you can
Oh
make
wow.
smoothie." Like I mean, yeah, everybody was saving and using that stuff in the back of the pantry that's been sitting there for 10 years. But it's
Right.
like it I don't know, it was a reset, just like you said. It was good. It was a good, I think it was a
Right.
good thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what I say. I see a lot of the positive that came from it too. And
Mhm.
I used to do the show, um, do shows before YouTube was kind of popular. We were doing it on
Mhm.
internet radio and public access television, and now with like YouTube and TikTok, now you have more access, and the technology is a lot better than it was whenever I was doing it at the beginning.
Mhm.
That's why I decided to jump back on it, and that's the other thing too is it's kind of what led me to do this show is that during COVID when everybody was you know locked in their houses, I noticed that on social media it was easier to be negative. People were fighting over everything on
Mhm.
social media. And so, like for us,
Mhm.
I just wanted to create something that was positive for a change. So,
Me
anyways, but
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's, you know what? That's exactly, yeah.
like for your recipes. During the COVID,
Mhm.
um, you decided to start cooking and doing the shows, starting that way first,
Well, I've always cooked, but
right?
and between on the camra is really took off after COVID. So
Mhm.
also I've always been, my whole thing is eat clean, drink a little dirty, and then grow food and eat it. So like I have all sorts of fruit trees and all the olives and vegetables and herbs. So I have a huge garden, and so I love to live healthy. I'm 49
Right.
years old. I think I look
Mhm.
pretty good at 49. I'm doing
Yeah,
good. It's
you look a lot younger than
and in the
49.
morning, I thank you. I like to go outside and I walk through my garden and I see what's growing. And that's how I
Right.
get inspired on what I want to cook. So I go into my kitchen. I've got things that I'm growing. I'm cooking with the foods that I'm growing, and it's eating healthy. It's feeding my body. It's feeding everything. So it's yeah, and then drink a little dirty. So by 5 o'clock,
Right.
you got to have something that right. And I like to
Okay.
get, even when I make my cocktails, I don't use cokes or sugary drinks. I
Right.
use healthier choices.
Cool. So
Hmm.
now,
Thank you.
so you started off with the Rachel Ann Roberts' recipes. So when did you
Mhm.
start getting into like the movie and the movie reviews?
Well, I was probably doing Rachel's recipes for 1 or 2 years when
Right.
Brian came along, and well, I had I've I'm also working on it. Like so, I've got in the works is an upcoming cooking show, and I've
Okay.
had around that same time the guy that I've had different people approach me about doing a my own cooking show.
Mhm.
I've had, and so it wasn't like when Brian came with movie reviews and more. I'd already had a lot of things going on out there,
Right.
and yeah, but it's working with Brian opens a lot of doors. And in fact, I'm missing. There's an event that's going to be happening this week in Nashville. It's a red carpet event for. It's a Judy Garland event, and
Oh well.
I was supposed to go to that, but it's just so Christmas. I've got 2 kids. I'm a single mom. I've got
Right.
so getting away is just it wasn't going to happen for this event. But there's always events coming up and happening. So it's tomorrow. I've got in Houston, there's Custom Trends magazine is throwing a Christmas party, toys for tots, and so I'm going to go work that and be
cool.
featured in that magazine. So
Right.
it's and yeah, I was also in another magazine, Envoy Guide magazine did a feature on me, and there's I'm going to be the cover of Katsu magazine. Katsu is a really neat machine that's kind of the lazy man's workout. You put it on, and it's a blood pressure cuffs that sends all your blood to the different capillaries in your body.
Right.
So it's like you're getting a workout without having to go to the gym, which
Right.
I'm all about that.
Another thing I noticed too is by doing this, you get a lot of people trying to get you to endorse some of their products, like the Balance 7 and some of the other things.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Well, you know what? We met that doctor. His name's Dr. Noristani, and I met him from one of our podcasts, and he's like incredible. This man, he's a really famous doctor out in California, who's been on all the major networks, and he worked for many years organizing this whole insurance for people that need insurance, that don't have insurance, and providing medical help for all these people. He's an incredible man. And also along the way, he's done a lot of research on putting your body into an alkaline state so that you don't get cancer and all of these things. And it's a healthier, So that 7, I start off every day with my Balance 7, and then I wait 30 minutes and I have my cup of coffee and I start my day, and then I drink, I do my vitamins, which he has these vitamins, O4 nutrition vitamins. I gotta tell you, like, I drink my little stuff in the morning, feel like, people like, in fact, this morning, someone was like, you need to pull back on that caffeine. I was like, it's the vitamins. I was like, I just have so much energy. And then he has a nighttime powder. I drink that at night, and then I want to go night night. Yeah, it's it's because it's got magnesium. It's got your
and I can tell that wherever you take it in the morning, you're doing your coffee. You just didn't have so much energy with it. Yeah.
Well, I naturally I have a lot of energy, but when I take these vitamins, it's kind of over the top. And I usually get people telling me, wow, what are you taking? I'm like, okay, here's the vitamins.
Well, so now other than that, you got 3, so you got your 2 podcasts. How do you have time for all? You have so much going on. You got the 2 podcasts. You do the Rachel's recipes. You're doing some of the endorsement stuff. And then now you're going to be doing some covers of magazines, and and you're the mom of 2 kids. How do you juggle all that?
Single mom. There's no ex that has him part of the time. No, it's just me, full time, both kids.
Right.
No, in fact, my family died. My mom and dad both died of cancer in 2012. Wow. So I don't even have, I have family in Italy, but I mean, that's, and I have family in upstate New York, but that's about it. Yeah. So, I mean, really, I do it on my own. It's, and I have great friends.
Right.
I have, that pick up the pieces when I do these events, and travel. But, it all works out.
Wow. And it's just amazing. It's amazing.
I want everybody to know, though, when I was in my 30s, if people scroll back on my pictures, you can find some pictures where you're going to be like, I wonder who that is. No, that was me. In my 30s, it was like I had my kids after I had there was a lot of weight to be lost. There was a lot of transformation still. I was a soccer mom. I was just, but it's just crazy how much you can reinvent yourself, and all you have to do is really want to do it. People ask me like, how do you stay, fit and trim, everything? Well, I do intermittent fasting. That helps a lot. I don't eat or drink after 5 o'clock. And then the next day, I hold off. I drink my coffee and I drink my, my vitamins and stuff, and I don't eat till noon. So my window of eating is smaller, and you've got to train. It takes about a week, but you know what? You get used to doing it, and then you get comfortable with doing it, and then you can't even imagine doing it any other way. So, it's a way of life, and low carb. I do. I used to do the keto. I was pretty strong with that. But if people out there that want to do keto, you really make sure that you don't have high cholesterol. So I always had I had a high cholesterol because my parents had high cholesterol, so it was hereditary. So I started that keto, like, I was the doctor, and they were like, "Oh my God, your cholesterol is 450." They were like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to go to the hospital. You're about to have a heart attack." And so I was like,
Wow.
nah, I'll take care of it. So I went home and I just tweaked the keto. I kept the low carb, but I was eating salmon, lots of salmon and blueberries and the flaxseed and the chia and the avocados, and I tweaked it. So, and I started the intermittent fasting, and I was able to get it down, but it was still like 260, which I thought was fine, but my doctor was like, "No."
Wow.
No. Yeah. So they finally put me on those, a very the lowest amount of statin, the Lipitor 10 milligram. Now it's at like whatever, it's supposed to be 200 or whatever. And I still eat clean and healthy. I never eat processed. I quit sugar years ago. But I get it in. We're going to get these things in, like, especially if you drink alcohol, which,
Right.
that's my vibe, right? I like to have my cocktail. I like to have my friends over. I don't want to be that person that is like goes out to a restaurant and I don't drink. No, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't want that. I want to enjoy life. And when I cook, the recipes I make, my friends, like a couple days ago, I made a crawfish and shrimp etouffee. Well, I think if you're from NOLA, a lot of people would be arguing with me after listening to them going, "That's not how you do that." They always start off with a roux. Yeah, right? You want to get the vegetables, and you want to get that creamy, that roux going on with all that butter. Well, butter's not the culprit, but the flour is. I don't put flour. I don't do it.
Okay.
It's in my recipe. I added a little bit of flax and ground flax and chia. That helps thicken it, and all the flavors still in with all the the Creole spices.
Right.
And then you got your vegetables, and and I make my own crawfish stock. When it's crawfish, we have crawfish season here, and crawfish is huge. So I always take the shells and make my own stock, and then use that throughout the year when I make things like the etouffee. But I got to tell you, I had a friend of mine come in from Dallas, and he would try that etouffee and was like, "Oh my God," we were like going out to dinner, and he was like, "Oh my God, it's so good. I have to have a little more." I'm like, "No, we're going out to dinner." And he's like, "No, I gotta have a little more." And then my friend Shannon came over and was like, "Dear God, this is the best etouffee I've ever had." And I was like, "That's awesome." So I think the cool thing is when I cook food, it's not gonna kill you. It's good. It's stuff that you're gonna get on the scale the next day, and you're still gonna be happy. And that is a win. A lot of people, they watch my stuff and they see the things I cook, and they think, and they tell me, "Oh my God, if I were your husband, I would be so fat." And I'm like, "No, you wouldn't. You'd be healthier than you," right? Because I promise you, I'm the queen of making substitutions when you cook. and that's important. You know,
Well,
it's okay.
so let me ask you this: are you into like the vegan stuff, or are
No.
you good? Because that right there, you run into a lot of people who I mean, nothing personal against vegans, but I can't do the whole thing. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? Yeah, I can't do the potatoes, but now it's like, I do the meat and I do, I there's other substitutions you can use, and it's, besides the potatoes. But yeah, I love potatoes. I miss my potatoes. God, that's one of the things,
like with the potatoes, I mean, like having like substitute like cauliflower.
Yep.
I'm okay with stuff like that. But when they come to you and they're like, "Hey, try these buffalo wings," and buffalo wings cauliflower with hot sauce on it. I'm like, look, stop calling stuff.
It's cauliflower with hot sauce.
Yeah, like that. Stop calling food different stuff if it's not really that food.
Well, see, okay, the way I look at things is, first of all, oh my God, the buffalo wings, that's eating, there's nothing wrong with eating chicken. So why would you eat the cauliflower? If now I would understand if it were like a potato, because potatoes, that's a high carb. So like I actually made a cauliflower. It was like, instead of baked potato soup, that you do this twice baked potato soup, and it's so good.
Right.
I made a cauliflower one. And I tell you what, my friends came over and they were like, God, that's the best baked potato soup I ever had. And I don't tell them. I'm just like, like later, I'm like, that was cauliflower. Like, why do you do that? I do that when I bake too. I like use like fake sugar and stuff. And it's so funny because my friends come over and they're like, wait a minute. Okay, don't do that again. Because it's like actually that's kind of the one area that I cannot protect, is like when I try to bake and stuff with the the fake sugars and stuff.
Yeah,
it doesn't come out. I guess at that point, if you're gonna have a piece of pie or a piece of cake, you might as well have the real deal. Because, yeah.
So cool. So let me ask you this.
Which I don't do very often. It's
you were talking about reinventing yourself. Prior to COVID, what do you think is the biggest change that you made?
Oh my gosh, night and day. So, really before COVID, it was, it was all about my children, and there was no connection really to what it was nothing like I am now. So people, now I go out in Houston and people come up to me and they're like, coffee talk. I mean, organized. And when I say I'm going to be at an event, people show up and they're like, and I'm kind of like a little celebrity around town here. So, and outside of this area, I went to Nashville and I had a director that came out there to see me. And, it's funny. I mean, life can change like that. It's really with social media the way it is now.
Right.
Anyone can do this. We have people on our podcast that we have had on that just picked one day, turned on the camera and did like, and next thing you know, they have millions of followers.
Right.
So I think in this day and age, really anybody can become famous or become whatever they want to be.
Right.
And I was at the point, I think where, I always liked the camera. I always liked acting. I always liked the camera. Back when I was in my 20s, I took acting classes, but that didn't happen. And instead I life went into a different direction where I had children, and I was, I gained a little weight when I got pregnant, a little, like 100 pounds, like way too much. But lost it. I was in shape. I was looking good, and like I said, I wanted to stay connected to people.
Right.
And I remember going on and doing like a prayer thing where I was like, I told people, listen, all of my followers, I said, listen, let's all get on at 7 p.m. We're all gonna get on our knees and we're all gonna pray. And like it was the funniest thing because here I am, like I'm not a highly religious person, right? Like I believe in God, but I'm not exactly the best one. And when it comes to prayer and stuff, I was on my knees. I'm like, and all these people, we were all connected on social media, praying on our knees, and then it's me starting to pray. Dear baby Jesus. And all these people were like, ah! Like, what do you mean, baby Jesus? I'm like, okay, well, maybe I wasn't the best one at this job. Right. But the point is, we're all here and we're all asking for this shit to stop.
Right.
Go away. Right. I mean, it was weird and scary. It was so crazy. I have friends that were on the eccentric side. And maybe you know what I'm talking about. The people that were a little like before COVID on the eccentric side,
right?
They would turn cuckoo, like, and so I mean, I had friends that just went on to that other. I mean, it's like you get on the phone with them, and they are like every conspiracy theory out there. They were believing in it, and I mean, I'm like, what? Like Walmart's making babies, we're eating babies. What? Like I never heard so much, but like what happened to these people? I don't know. Anyway, I was one of the people that was like, I'm gonna wear my gloves, I'm gonna mask up, and I'm gonna get everything delivered, and then I'm gonna scrub it really good, like all my cardboard food was like scrub out in public for the first time. I was like a hazmat suit. My son was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I can't breathe. He said, well, take off one of those 10 masks you have on. Right. What is wrong with you? And I mean, like, I look around and I'm like, oh, I guess people aren't dying. They don't need all the gloves and the masks and the, I don't know how much of that was like baloney and how much was like real. I don't know. But all I know is it was an experience that I'm in a weird way. I'm appreciative that in my lifetime we got to go through that. Which I mean, think about that. That's weird.
Right. When you say that, it kind of reminds me like when we were doing security. So whenever people would first get COVID in security, we would have people literally show up to the building in hazmat suits. They would come in hazmat suits. They would have the special, these backpacks with the spray, and they spray everything down. They shut the building down for 3 days. Nobody could come to work. So us as security, and I was the account manager for security. So we're trying to protect this building, an empty building. And then as time went on, it went from hazmat suits to somebody just said that they had COVID, and you're like, oh, grab a baby wipe and just wipe down the dust down. Yeah. I'm like, so is it dangerous or is it not dangerous? How do you go from hazmat suits to wipe something down with a baby wipe?
Right? I know. It was like a blink too. I mean, like, and next thing you know, and then nobody wanted to wear it. And once we were like over the masks, right? Nobody wanted to go back. They're like, we recommend you wear a mask. Or you get to a store, we recommend that you wear. No, everybody's like, fuck it, man. Yeah. Nobody wanted to do it. We're done with that. I don't want to play that game anymore.
Right. I think Texas, I think we were one of the first states to say, we're done with it. We just got tired of it.
Done. We got tired of it. Yeah. People were like, you know what? If I get it, I'm just gonna roll with it.
Right. So.
Right. And you know what? I have friends that they didn't even do the vaccine. I mean, of course, me. I was like, vaccine number 542. Come on, on, kids, time to get this boost shot to get free Taco Bell afterwards. Like, remember, like they were like telling people, like, if you come and get a boost shot, you get a free burger. Like, all right. Like,
yeah.
My friend is so worried about me because she's a believer that the vaccine, like, she's watched these videos that like show the inside of people that died and they had the autopsy, and it shows like your blood is like, I don't like stringy or something. And she was like, she tells me every single day, you got to take the charcoal pills. You got to clean out your body. I'm like,
wow.
After like maybe in like another 6 months, just let my body be strong because I want to like still stay a little protected. Right? I don't want to. Yeah.
That's another great point too. Is that during that whole time, everybody is either one extreme or the other extreme. Either you're for the vaccination or you're anti-vax, but it was to the extreme. Like me, I was just in the middle. I'm like, whatever you want to do for your health is fine. You know what I mean? And then I'm gonna
That's
do
how I felt.
Yeah, it's like
I was like, God, I'm doing my thing, you do your thing. Who cares?
Right. So I don't know.
You know what's funny? I remember is during that time, if you were into security or the law,
right,
you couldn't even be a damn fireman. Man, life was scary. Do you remember like all policemen and these people in that line of work? I remember it was not a good time to be a cop.
Yeah.
People were getting shot. Yeah, we still, I don't know. I mean, here in Texas, Abbott was like, guns are good. Everybody should have a gun, right? Like, and so they changed the laws here where they were like, you don't even need a license. Just make sure a 3-year-old has their gun today in their backpack. Put it in, make sure the safety's on. Make sure grandma's got her, make sure she's got her gun in her sock. Like, everybody was carrying guns and it didn't even matter. So we're all like, I mean, and so now I don't even feel safe walking outside because it's like I don't know if it's a party going on, like it's like all the time. And it's kind of weird.
So, well, like me, being security, of course, I'm all pro Second Amendment. So I carry. My son wants to. He wants to start carrying. You bring up the.
How old is yours?
Do what? How is my son? My son is 20 years old.
How old is your son?
20.
Oh, okay. Mine's 15. Mine's 15, and he's over here cleaning the gun right now. He's like, I got grandpa's gun, all nice and good. I mean, yeah.
But I told him, I told him that they did change the laws where you don't have to have a concealed carry license anymore, which I disagree with that one because to get a concealed license, you're actually taking a course and you're learning how to use that gun. And so I told my son,
right,
you should still take that course because you learn more than just gun safety. There's a lot of laws out there, considering for carrying a gun. So there's a lot of laws, and taking that class will teach you those laws. So I think those classes are important, and I think that license is important too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just have people go in.
My son came up to me and he's like, I know all the laws on all that stuff. I'm like, you do? And he's like, yeah. And then he told me like a couple days ago, he's like, you can shoot someone for what did you call that, Troy? He just woke up. There's like he said there's a law where if somebody comes within your like area, you're allowed to shoot them. I'm like, no, you're not. You got. I was like, look, if it's in your home, I know that. Yeah, you can do that. If somebody comes into your home, you can shoot them. But I'm pretty sure even here in Texas, you can't shoot someone just for coming in your personal space. Troy, what did you call that? He's ignoring me. He's like, I don't want to be on your podcast.
It's probably the stand your ground law is what he's thinking about. But either at that, you have to feel like that person literally threatening your life before you can use any kind of lethal force like that. So
we can't just
yeah,
be at the Walmart. No, you
yeah,
can't just be walking down the aisle at Walmart and be like, I was going for the Cokes and she grabbed it first.
right,
No, you,
yeah, no. So yeah, that's the thing
yeah.
too. Is
So,
that's why it's important to know what the laws really are. And then
and you know what's
also,
so important is that, yeah, that we have those body cameras on. Now, tell me about that body camera you've got going on, because that's cool.
oh yeah, definitely. So so right now, we have a camera that I created that has it's remote activated basically. So I have a patent on it where when a call comes into dispatch, the dispatcher, we have a software program. So when the call comes into dispatch, when the dispatcher assigns that officer to a call, they're simultaneously turning that camera on for the officer. When the call is over, when they take the officer off the call, they're turning off the camera. We also added a accelerometer on the camera, which is the same as your phone. So like when you tilt your phone and it changes the picture from when from vertical to horizontal, we have that on our camera. So basically, when you put the camera on in the beginning of the day, it calibrates its upright position and it says this is where I should be, during the day. And if something happens, say the officer gets attacked, and that camera tilts 60 degrees for 5 seconds, then it automatically will send a distress to the dispatcher. That way,
Wow.
if the officer's being attacked and they can't get to their camera to hit the distress button, which we added a distress button as well, but if they can't hit it, the camera automatically detects that they're in trouble. Send a distress to dispatch to let them know. The other thing we added that nobody else has that I'm aware of is a GPS. So right now, with the officers, you know where they are based by their car because the GPS is on the car. But if that officer's away from their car chasing somebody down the street, they know where that officer is. So we put the GPS on the camera as well. So now we know exactly where officers are.
That's incredible. Life changer. What do you think that'll be like out, in actual use?
Well, so right now we've already created the demo. Next year, starting January, actually, I'm going to start wearing the camera during my in-person interviews. So people can kind of get used to it. We're going to have a website. And on that website, you'll have all the links to our shows and the different formats of our shows. You'll have the regular camera views like what we got right now. And then you'll also have a live stream from my cameras. I'm interviewing people in person. And that way you can see it from my perspective. And then we also will put the demo up on it. And then on the demo on the website, people can actually go around and play with the camera. They can turn it on and off. They could do the record, playback. There's different features that they could do. So that's going to be on our website. And then we're looking at probably my goal is by the maybe middle of the year, end of the year, we're going to do a crowdfunding campaign. And then raise the money to actually build out the rest of the camera. So now the good thing is that for people who gets involved with the crowdfunding campaign, we're creating a special camera for them where we have accessories to the camera. So if they invest a certain amount in our within our crowdfunding, then they'll get this camera. They'll get the camera. And with the camera, it's going to have these accessories. And the way that I'm going to have these accessories is that so someone like just the public, general public, will have something where they can use as a body cam. They can wear it as a body cam. When they go home, there'll be an accessory you can hang it on the wall and make it home security. And then
I love it.
Like when you get into the car, you can actually put it on a dashboard and make it into a dash cam. with our accessories.
You know what I would like to do is get one and wear it when I work events and when I go out, and then I don't have to carry a microphone or a camera or my cell phone. If I'm wearing it, I could be interviewing, because when I go out, it's not just, I always end up being, if it's like live music, I want to meet the people, I want to do all of it. And when I work events, if I could just wear it, that would I mean, that would be a game changer right there.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that we created this for, of course, for our law enforcement. But honestly, the law enforcement is really just a small part of the different industries that we plan to be in. The main
absolutely babysitter. I would have, like, if I were having somebody babysit my kids, wear this, and then you could at all times see what the hell is going on. School teachers. Wow, that would be interesting.
Our biggest,
you know what? This is
our biggest industry is actually going to be real estate agents. So you have these real estate agents showing people empty, abandoned, houses that nobody's in. And so we have the way we're planning on doing it is having it to where there's audio where you could talk into the camera, and the person on the other end has an app where they can talk back and forth through the camera and have the video. So say that you're married, and your wife is going and showing a house. You could pull up the app and you could talk back and forth to her while she's like showing the house. That way the people that she's with knows that they're being watched, so they're less likely to
I like that.
Do anything stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's probably,
as a single mom, I love this idea. Yeah.
So, and it's out there to protect, that. And then the other, I say industry, but the other industry that's really interested in this is actually the fire department. They're looking at it like the fire marshal, when he goes in and he's inspecting a building and he's telling people things that they need to do to change. A lot of times they're like, you never told me that. You never said that. Well, now you got a camera. The other thing too is with the fire department and the police department is now, like, when they go into a scene, like to a house that was on fire or a crime scene, instead of taking pictures of everything, you just walk in with the camera and collect everything as you're walking around. You're already grabbing those images. So those there's so many uses for this. And then not only that, but we've already generated a lot of interest, not only here nationally, but internationally. We have different countries that's interested in it as well, that wants us to bring it overseas. So yeah, it's all about just finishing building out the casing of this, and I'm hoping that we're able to do that this year. So,
well, kudos to you. I love it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on. I had fun with you.
Well, thank you so much for being on. I was going to just ask you one more question before we go. If you could give the people today any advice, what would your advice be?
Okay, so prayer. You know what? I tell people this, whether you're a strong believer or a non-believer, at some point in life you will go to God and ask. And if you don't ask, and if you don't, I don't know, maybe part of it is, okay, let's say you're not a believer. I think there's a part of it is really strong that you're asking the universe for something. So every night, that's my advice. If you want something, ask for it. Be specific too.
Right. If
you're looking for a red dress, it's funny. These things will fall in your lap. Ask for things in life at night. Ask God or the gods or whatever it is you believe in. Throw it out there, and I think that's really powerful. And reinventing yourself is as easy as that. Just do it.
Wow, that's great advice. So
stay happy and positive. Yeah. Always carry a smile on your face, and
Right.
Yeah.
Well, cool. You know, like you said, thank you again so much for being on the show. Yeah, I was
Thank
really
you for
looking forward
having
to
me.
putting you on. So cool.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
All right,
you.
guys. Thank you guys for joining us. And until next show, remember you are uniquely designed with a purpose, and always keep moving forward. Peace. Cool. Thank you.
Peace.